harder than trying to introduce Bill McAlpin in front of Bill McAlpin would be introducing Bill McAlpin in front of two Bill McAlpin. 25 years ago, Bill McAlpin and his wife, Carol, shipped 200 bags of coffee from his coffee farm, La Manita in Costa Rica, to the United States. They rented a U-Haul truck, and with Bill driving, Carol navigating, they drove across the country, meeting with members of the fledgling specialty coffee movement. George Howell tells the story of Bill and Carol showing up on a snowy March evening. George cupped the coffee with Bill and immediately said, "I'll take 5 bags of the coffee," thinking it would come a month later by UPS. Bill and Carol said, "Great," ran out to their truck and carried in 5 bags of coffee. That was the beginning of La Manita's story in the United States coffee industry. During this journey across the country, Bill left an open invitation to anyone who was interested to visit his farm in Costa Rica. You see, at that time, many coffee buyers had never even seen a coffee tree. In 1991 and 1992, over 200 people took him up on his offer to visit the farm. They're all in this book. Hundreds of people. The list included people like George Howell, Alton McEwen, Tim Castle, Jose Cavina, Jurgen Plata, Dan Cox. I wrote Dave Olson, and I thought to myself after I wrote Dave Olson, half the people in this room don't even know who Dave Olson is. He was the coffee buyer for Starbucks at the time. I'm starting to feel a little old. Fernando Barzuna, you know. By the end of 1995, visitors from Pete's Coffee and Tea, Caribou Coffee, Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, Batdorf and Bronson, The Coffee Tree, and literally hundreds more had made the trek to La Manita. From around the world, there were visits from coffee buyers from Italy, Japan, Sweden, Finland, India, Switzerland, Germany. The list just goes on and on and on. Bill's philosophy was quite simple. If you made the effort to come to visit, he opened up his home, the farm, and the mill to you. While some of the tour was organized, the idea was to give visitors the opportunity to live on an actual coffee farm for a couple days, to experience and explore whatever aspect of the coffee interested them. Chad Trewick and Scott Merle asked if they could work at the mill to learn about the processing of the mill. They woke up in the morning to a pair of rubber boots and instructions they'd be picked up in 2 days. And they spent 2 days living at the mill. He built a guest house to allow more space for visitors, but still more people kept coming. By 1999, he gave up his home to visitors and built a secluded new cottage for himself a short ways away from the residents. As the farm and the reputation grew, so did the visitor list. Dunkin' Donuts, Panera Bread, McDonald's visited and became valued clients. I got to thinking when I was writing this, perhaps the best mutual fund of all time could have been created if all you had done was bought stock in companies when they first visited La Manita. And here's the thing, not one person has ever paid a penny to visit La Manita. Whether you purchase 1,000 bags, 1 bag, or never bought coffee from the farm at all, everyone was treated equally and given complete access to everything. Bill has always believed that the more coffee roasters and consumers understood their product, the better it is for everyone in the industry. Bill's openness to visitors has also extended to anywhere in the world he produces or sources coffee. His model of rewarding producers for quality and connecting coffee roasters to producers now extends to Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Guatemala, Sumatra, and many more. Despite the growth of his company and the increasing demands of the roasted side of the business, Bill has never lost the perspective of the coffee producer and has always viewed the roasting business as a means of selling more high-quality green coffee from origin. In the last 25 years, La Manita has traded, and I had to check the decimal point on this, over 500 million pounds of coffee. By multinational standards, that number is small, but by specialty coffee standards, it's almost incomprehensible. In all cases, the specialty coffee that La Manita has sourced, all 500 million pounds plus, the producer of the coffee has been paid a price higher than the cost of producing the coffee, despite any prevailing market price. This has ensured the long-term sustainability of everyone involved in Bill's supply chain. In 2001, when coffee prices dove to under 60 cents a pound, Bill recognized how dangerous this could be for the Costa Rican coffee industry. He rallied his customers and got them all to agree to pay at least $1.50 a pound for their coffee, despite any prior agreements or contracts. He promised them that he would ensure that the money would flow directly to the farmers who grew the coffee. In recognition for their commitment to help, each customer received a personalized certificate from the President of Costa Rica, thanking them for their valuable support of the Costa Rican coffee industry. Ironically, the only one who was not recognized for their effort was Bill himself. To be honest, I'm not sure Bill ever gave it a second thought, but I thought today would be a fitting time to share this story with the industry. I feel this story truly illustrates Bill's real contribution to our industry. Time and again, he has recognized potential problems before they occurred and took quick, decisive steps to immediately help. He never sought personal recognition for his effort. I can't even imagine the look on his face when he found out he was getting this award. In summary, Bill has committed his life to rewarding producers who create high-quality coffee and finding customers who care about giving their consumers a great product. It really sounds pretty simple. It's my honor to introduce Bill McCallum.
I'm not as old as I look. I actually broke my leg skiing. And I understand Carlo's emotion. It's hard to stay in equilibrium. I do want to thank the SCAA for the award. It was indeed a surprise. Perhaps the interesting thing is maybe it's too soon, because there remains a great deal that can be done with coffee. And I have plenty of new ideas, which I haven't been able to get going with yet, but intend to. I thought that I would address this from the point of view of not reading a speech, so to speak, but to use some quotes as prompts. So the first quote is John Donne, who was an Elizabethan poet. And you've all heard of this. You've all heard this quote one way or the other, properly done or not properly done. It says, "No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main." So, for my usage, although this was part of a meditation, the beginning and the end of it is almost unintelligible gibberish about death. As far as I'm concerned, this is not my award. This goes to all of the people that contributed to all of the things that we've done. I won't try to list them simply because we'd be here way beyond limited time. So I appreciate it, but it is all of those people in the industry that have contributed to the work that we have undertaken over the last 40 years. Hemingway also used that quote, but Hemingway is depressing, so his quote, his part of the quote of this, and I won't read the whole thing to you, and therefore never sin to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. Well, that's about death, typically Hemingway-esque. John Donne actually, he was the D.H. Lawrence and Henry James of the Elizabethan period. At school, if one was sharp, you could find the erotic poetry, but we won't talk about that. Again, sharing the award with all of these people that have helped, that came to me fairly quickly. When Paul gave me a call to tell me about this, it went, well, not quite immediately. First, it was, what an excuse for a party. And secondly, oh, damn it, I've quit drinking. The third thought was that this needs to be shared with everyone that's contributed to our work. The thing that makes it important is, and I've heard it here tonight over and over again, the dedication to quality. And quality, of course, is absolutely what made my business. I can say that we would drive hours out of our way to stop by Carlos' place to have him personally make my espressos for me. And I would hang around till it was time to either have a heart attack or he would throw us out. And that was in the last century. So, quality. Henry Ford said, quality means doing it right when no one is looking. If you think about that, that's really the essence of what quality is. That, in many ways, is what the SCA is about, what it should be about. The other side of the coin, which is what the SCA guards against and battles against, is that a quote from John Ruskin, who was a 19th century art critic in England. And he said, "There is scarcely anything in the world that some man can't make a little worse and sell a little more cheaply. The person who buys on price alone is this man's lawful prey." I think that sums it up quite succinctly regarding where we are. It's not an effort to sell the cheapest possible product at the lowest possible price. You have to put quality first if you're in the specialty industry. Finally, so that this isn't drug out too much, apart from all the others that contributed to this, there is my wife, Carol. Without her, it wouldn't exist. The business wouldn't exist. And she's been by my side for this entire time. So, a final quote: "You cannot measure a man by his riches, but by the quality of the woman holding his hand." My wife, Carol. Also, that I wouldn't get emotional about this, but Carlos set a precedent that I'm finding difficult to not follow. So thank you all, thank the SCA, and of course, course, thank Russ for the introduction, and all of the partners that have made my business, and our endeavors a success. Good evening.